I know how to read a room, and I know when something is wrong. When I walked into that lawyer's office and saw who was sitting in the corner chair, every muscle in my body went rigid. My daughter-in-law, Christine. She wasn't supposed to be there. Nobody told me she'd be there. And the way she looked at me, with that cold smile that never reached her eyes, I knew, whatever was about to happen, she'd orchestrated it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go back to where this really started. To the day I buried my brother. His name was Thomas. Tommy to everyone who loved him. He was my younger brother by 4 years, and for 63 years of my life, he was my best friend. We grew up together in Halifax, moved to Toronto together in our 20s, built our construction business from nothing, side by side, equal partners in everything. Tommy never married, never wanted to. He said he'd seen too many marriages turn sour, watched too many of his friends get bitter and distant from their wives. He preferred his freedom, he said, preferred to invest his love in family, in our business, in his nieces and nephews, especially my son, Marcus. Marcus was Tommy's godson. Tommy was there when Marcus was born, held him before I did because I was too shaky with emotion. He taught Marcus to skate, to fish, to hammer a nail straight. Paid for half of Marcus's engineering degree because he said the boy's got a brilliant mind, and brilliant minds shouldn't be burdened with debt. Tommy was more than an uncle to Marcus. He was a second father. That's why what happened felt like such a profound betrayal. Not just to me, to Tommy's memory. Tommy died of a heart attack. Sudden, massive. He was working on a site inspection in Mississauga, checking the foundation work on a condo development, and he just collapsed. Gone before the ambulance arrived. He was 66 years old. The funeral was small. Tommy wanted it that way. He'd updated his will just 6 months earlier, very specific about everything. Small service, cremation. Ashes scattered in Georgian Bay, where we used to fish as kids. No fuss. He hated fuss. Marcus gave the eulogy. My son stood up there, 34 years old, successful structural engineer, and he spoke beautifully about his uncle, about the man who taught him to see the world in load-bearing terms, who showed him that strength and kindness weren't opposites. He had everyone in tears, including me. Christine sat beside me in the front row, holding my hand. She'd been Marcus's wife for 6 years by then. I'll admit, I never warmed to her completely. There was always something calculating behind her eyes, something that made me choose my words carefully around her. But she seemed devoted to Marcus, and that was what mattered. My son loved her. That was enough for me to try. After the service, after we'd scattered Tommy's ashes and shared stories over whiskey at my house, everyone went home. Marcus and Christine stayed to help me clean up, or rather, Marcus stayed. Christine disappeared into the guest room after about 20 minutes, saying she had a migraine. "Dad," Marcus said as we washed dishes together, "Uncle Tommy's lawyer called me yesterday." I dried a plate slowly. "Martin Breslin?" "Yeah. He wants to meet with both of us next week." "About the will?" "I already know what's in the will, son. Your uncle and I went over it together when he had it updated. He's leaving you 40% of his share of the business. The rest is split between your cousins and some charities." Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Dad, I need to tell you something. She's been difficult about money lately." I put down the dish towel. "What do you mean?" "She thinks we should be living in a bigger house, driving better cars. She doesn't understand why I'm still paying off my student loans when her friends' husbands just, I don't know," she compares. "A lot." This didn't surprise me, but it disappointed me. "Son, you're an engineer at one of the best firms in Toronto. You make good money." "I know. But she grew up wealthy, Dad. Her father owned that pharmaceutical company. She's used to a different lifestyle. Her father went to prison for fraud, Marcus. That company was built on lies. She's not her father." I wanted to say more, but I bit my tongue. This was my son's marriage, not my business unless he asked for help. He didn't ask. 1 week after Tommy's funeral, I went to Martin Breslin's office for the will reading. It was a cold February afternoon, the kind of gray Toronto day that makes you forget the sun exists. Martin's office was in one of those old buildings near Osgood Hall, all dark wood and brass fixtures. When I walked in, the receptionist smiled and said, "Mr. Pearson, they're waiting for you in the conference room." I should have asked who they was. But I was still in that fog of grief. where everything feels distant and slow. I opened the conference room door, and there she was. Christine, sitting in the corner chair like she belonged there, wearing a black dress that was too expensive for a family will reading. Her face perfectly made up. That smile. Marcus wasn't there. "Where's my son?" I asked. Martin Breslin stood up from behind the conference table. He looked uncomfortable. "Mr. Pearson, please sit down. Mrs. Pearson," Christine, requested to attend this meeting in Marcus's place. "She has his power of attorney." "Since when?" "Since 3 months ago," Martin said carefully. 3 months ago, right around the time Tommy updated his will. I sat down slowly. Something was very wrong. Martin opened a folder. "I'll get straight to it. Thomas Pearson's will is being contested. Christine has filed a claim that Thomas was not of sound mind when he made his most recent changes, and that undue influence was exerted." "That's insane," I said. "Tommy was perfectly healthy, sharp as ever. He updated his will because he wanted to be organized. He always was. And furthermore," Martin continued, his voice strained, "Christine is claiming that as Marcus's legal representative, she should receive direct control of any inheritance due to him, citing concerns about family business complications and Marcus's current mental health struggles." The room tilted. "What mental health struggles? My son is fine." Christine spoke for the first time. Her voice was smooth, too smooth. "Richard, we didn't want to worry you. Marcus has been seeing a therapist for depression and anxiety. It's been quite severe. I've been managing our finances because he's not in a state to make major decisions right now." This was a lie. It had to be. I'd just seen Marcus a week ago. We'd talked for hours. He was grieving, yes, but he was stable, functional. "I want to speak to my son," I said. "He's not taking calls right now," Christine said. "Doctor's orders. He needs space from stressful family situations." I looked at Martin. "Is this legal? Can she do this?" Martin's jaw was tight. "If she has power of attorney, and if there's medical documentation, then yes. Temporarily. But Mr. Pearson, there's something else you should know. I need to speak with you privately." Christine stood up. "Whatever you need to say to Richard, you can say in front of me. I'm family." "No," Martin said firmly. "This concerns something Thomas specifically instructed me to share with Richard alone. You'll need to wait outside, Mrs. Pearson." For just a second, Christine's mask slipped. I saw anger flash across her face, cold and sharp. Then the smile returned. "Of course. I understand." She left the room, heels clicking on the hardwood floor. Martin waited until the door closed. Then he walked to a cabinet and pulled out a large envelope, the kind for documents. It was sealed with Tommy's signature across the flap. "Your brother came to see me 5 months ago," Martin said quietly. "Not 6 months when he updated the will." 5. He came alone, didn't make an appointment. Just walked in. He looked worried. Said he needed to tell someone something, officially, in case anything happened to him. My throat was tight. What did he say? He said he was concerned about Christine, that he'd overheard a conversation between her and a man he didn't recognize at Marcus's birthday party last April. They were in the garage. Didn't know Tommy was in the backyard having a smoke. He said Christine was talking about money, about waiting, about how the old men can't live forever, and how she'd worked too hard on this to back out now. The room went cold. Tommy didn't know what it meant, Martin continued, but it bothered him enough that he came to me. He said if anything happened to him, anything at all that seemed even slightly suspicious, I was to give you this envelope and tell you to be careful. He said Christine was smart, too smart, and that he thought she married Marcus for reasons that had nothing to do with love. I took the envelope with shaking hands. "What's in here?" "I don't know." He sealed it in front of me. "Made me promise to only give it to you if he died, and only if you were alone." Martin leaned forward. "Richard, I knew your brother for 20 years. He was the most rational, level-headed man I ever met. He wasn't paranoid. He wasn't dramatic. If he was worried enough to do this, then something is very, very wrong." I opened the envelope. Inside was a flash drive, a handwritten letter, and a stack of printed documents. Bank statements, email printouts, photos. Tommy's letter was dated 5 months ago. His handwriting, clear and steady. "Richie," it began. "Only Tommy ever called me Richie. If you're reading this, I'm gone. And I need you to be smarter than I was. I need you to see what I should have seen years ago. Christine is not who she pretends to be. I've been watching her for the past year, since that conversation I overheard. I started paying attention. Really paying attention. She's been systematically isolating Marcus from everyone. Slowly, carefully. You probably didn't notice because she's subtle. But think about it. When was the last time Marcus came to Sunday dinner alone? When was the last time he called you just to talk, without Christine on the line? When was the last time he saw his cousins, his friends from university? She's cut him off, piece by piece. I hired a private investigator. His report is in this envelope. Christine's real name is Christine Holloway, but she's used 3 other names. She's been married twice before. Both husbands were older men with money. Both died within 10 years of marriage. One from a medication error. One from a fall down the stairs. Both left everything to her. She's a con artist, Richie. A very good one. And she's got her hooks in our Marcus. The flash drive contains recordings. I put audio recorders in my own house after I became suspicious. You'll hear her talking to someone on the phone. Planning, calculating, talking about me like I'm already dead. Talking about you like you're next. I don't know what to do with this information. I can't go to Marcus. He's so in love with her he won't believe me. I tried, once, to gently suggest he be careful. He got defensive, said I was being paranoid in my old age. So I'm leaving this for you. Because you're stronger than me. You've always been the strong one. If something happens to me, anything that seems even slightly off, you need to investigate. You need to protect Marcus, and you need to protect yourself. She's dangerous, Richie. I don't know her endgame, but I know she's playing a long con, and we're all marks. I've changed my will to make it harder for her to get anything directly. But she's smart. She'll find a way to contest it, to manipulate it. Watch her carefully, and please, please be careful. I don't want to lose you too. Love, Tommy. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the letter. I looked at Martin. When did my brother die? February 3rd. Why? How exactly did he die? I know it was a heart attack, but what caused it? Martin pulled out another file. The coroner's report said massive cardiac arrest. But Richard, there was something unusual. There were traces of a medication in his system, Digitalis. It's a heart medication, but in high doses, it can cause cardiac arrest. Tommy didn't take heart medication. I know. The coroner noted it, but ruled it as possibly something he took without prescription or a contamination. The death was ruled natural because Tommy had some arterial blockage. It was plausible he'd had a heart attack, but not certain. Not certain. I opened the private investigator's report, photo after photo of Christine, meeting with a man in expensive suits, having lunch, having coffee, having very intimate conversations in parked cars. The man was identified as David Wickham, a financial consultant with a history of helping people hide assets offshore. The bank statements showed money moving out of Marcus's accounts. Small amounts at first, then larger. Transferred to accounts in Christine's name only. The emails were between Christine and David, talking about the timeline, about elderly asset acquisition, about making it look natural. I felt sick. She's going to kill me, I said out loud. She killed Tommy, and now she's going to kill me. And then Marcus will inherit everything, and she controls Marcus. Martin's face was grim. We need to go to the police. With what? Circumstantial evidence and a recording? She'll say it's fake. She'll say Tommy was paranoid. She'll say, I'm a grieving brother seeing conspiracies. I stood up. I need to see my son. I need to see Marcus face to face. She won't let you near him. I'm his father. She can't stop me. But she could. And she did. When I went to Marcus's house that evening, Christine answered the door. She was calm, pleasant. Richard, I'm sorry, but Marcus really can't see anyone right now. His doctor thinks family stress is making his depression worse. I need to talk to him. 5 minutes. I can't allow that. I'm protecting him. From his own father? From stress. You're grieving, Tommy. You're not yourself. Marcus doesn't need that energy right now. I tried to push past her. She stepped back and said loudly, Richard, please don't force your way into our home. I'll have to call the police. A neighbor was watching from across the street. Christine waved at her, playing the victim, playing the concerned wife, protecting her sick husband from his aggressive father. I left. I had no choice. That night, I sat in my house and listened to the recordings on Tommy's flash drive. Christine's voice, clear as day. He's old, 66. The heart attack will be believable. Everyone will think it's natural. A man's voice, David Wickham, presumably. And the brother? Richard. He'll be easy after Thomas is gone. He's got high blood pressure already. Another year, maybe 2, and then we'll have everything. And Marcus? Marcus is handled. He believes everything I tell him. Poor thing thinks he's depressed, thinks he needs me. I've got him on medications that keep him foggy, compliant. By the time his father dies, he won't even question it. You're certain the dosage is right. You don't want him actually damaged. I'm careful. I learned from the mistakes with husband number 1. Marcus will be functional enough to inherit and sign papers, but not functional enough to fight me. It's a delicate balance, but I'm good at delicate. Laughing. They were laughing. I stopped the recording. I couldn't listen anymore. My brother was murdered. My son was being drugged, and I was next on the list. I sat in the dark for a long time, thinking. Then I made a decision. I called Martin Breslin. I need you to file a legal motion. I want a full investigation into Tommy's death. I want an autopsy review, and I want a court-ordered medical evaluation of Marcus. Independent doctor, not whoever Christine has in her pocket. That's going to take time, Richard, and money. I have time. I have money. Do it. She'll fight it. Let her fight. I'm not letting her get away with this. The next 6 months were hell. Christine filed countermotions. She got a restraining order against me, claiming I was harassing her and endangering Marcus's mental health. I couldn't go within 100 meters of their house. Marcus never called me. Never reached out. I tried to call him, but Christine had changed his number. I hired my own investigator. We dug deeper into Christine's past. Found husband number 2, Gerald Mathers, died from a fall down the stairs. Found husband number 1, Robert Chen, died from accidental overdose of heart medication. Found that in both cases, Christine inherited everything. Found that she disappeared for 2 to 3 years between husbands, presumably to avoid suspicion. Found that her real name was actually Allison Draper, and she'd been arrested twice for fraud in her 20s, but never convicted. We took everything to the police. Detective Sarah Chen, Toronto Police Fraud Division, took the case seriously, but she said the same thing everyone said. It's all circumstantial. We need something concrete. Get me access to Marcus, I begged. Let me see my son. He can tell you he's being drugged. If he's being drugged the way you claim, he won't be reliable, Detective Chen said. His testimony would be dismissed. We need physical evidence. We need to catch her in the act. So what do we do? Detective Chen looked at me carefully. We set a trap. The trap was simple. We'd leak information to Christine through her lawyer that I was dying. Stage medical records showing I had late-stage cancer. Make her think her timeline was accelerating naturally. Then we'd watch. See if she'd made a move. She'll come for the business, Detective Chen said. If you're dying, she'll try to get Marcus to sign paperwork transferring your assets before you're gone. She'll want to lock it down. And if she tries to speed up my death, we'll be watching. You'll be protected. I didn't feel protected. But I agreed. We planted the fake medical records. Made sure Christine's lawyer would accidentally see them during a deposition. Waited. 3 days later, Christine called me. Her voice was honey-sweet. Richard, I heard about your diagnosis. I'm so sorry. I know we've had our difficulties, but you're still Marcus's father. He'd want to see you. He would? Yes. He's doing better now. The new medication is really helping. He's been asking about you. I think it would be good for both of you to reconnect. Before time runs out. Before time runs out. The audacity. I'd like that, I said carefully. Why don't you come for dinner tomorrow? I'll make your favorite. Pot roast. Pot roast? The meal she'd put the poison in, most likely. I'll be there. Detective Chen set up surveillance. Officers in an unmarked van across the street. A wire on me. A plan to rush in if anything went wrong. I drove to Marcus's house the next evening, with my heart pounding. I hadn't seen my son in 6 months. I had no idea what state he'd be in. Christine answered the door in an apron, playing the role of devoted wife. Richard, come in. Marcus is in the living room. I walked in. Marcus was sitting on the couch, and my heart broke. He'd lost weight. His eyes were dull, distant. He looked like a shadow of himself. "Dad," he said, but his voice was flat, medicated. I sat beside him. "Son, how are you?" "I'm okay. Better. Christine takes good care of me." Christine smiled from the doorway. "Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. Marcus, honey, why don't you show your father your new workshop in the garage? I just finished setting it up for you." Marcus stood up slowly, mechanically. I followed him through the kitchen, past where Christine was stirring something in a pot, and out to the garage. The garage was empty except for a workbench and some tools. Marcus turned to me, and suddenly his eyes weren't dull anymore. They were sharp, clear, alert. "Dad," he whispered, "I've been faking it. I've been pretending to take the pills, hiding them. I know what she's doing." I nearly collapsed with relief. "Marcus, thank God. I know what you thought. I'm sorry. I couldn't contact you. She watches everything. Checks my phone, my emails, my car's GPS. I've been playing along, acting drugged, waiting for the right moment." He grabbed my arm. "Dad, she's going to poison you tonight. The pot roast. I heard her on the phone with David. They think you're dying anyway, so they're going to speed it up. I know. The police are outside. We have a plan." "No." Marcus's voice was urgent. "You don't understand. David is a cop. He's been feeding her information from inside. That's how she's stayed ahead of everything. Your trap. They know about it. They're turning it around on you." The world tilted. "Are you sure?" "Yes. I've been recording everything on my phone. I've got hundreds of hours. I've been building a case. But Dad, we need to get you out of here now. If you eat that dinner, the surveillance team won't reach you in time. David will make sure of that." I heard Christine's voice from inside. "Boys, dinner's ready." Marcus and I looked at each other. "What do we do?" I whispered. Marcus reached into the toolbox and pulled out his phone. "We stopped playing her game. We call real police, not Toronto Division. I've been in contact with an RCMP officer, someone David doesn't know. She's on her way." Christine appeared in the garage doorway. She was holding 2 plates of pot roast, smiling, but her eyes weren't smiling. She was looking at Marcus, really looking at him, and I saw the moment she realized. He wasn't drugged. He'd been faking. Her smile vanished. "You little bastard," she said softly. "You've been awake this whole time." Marcus raised his phone. "It's over, Christine. Or should I call you Allison? I know everything. I've recorded everything. And the RCMP is already listening." He tapped the phone screen. A voice came through. Female. Official. "Mrs. Pearson, this is Corporal Linda Zhao, RCMP. We have units surrounding your house. Please put down the plates and place your hands where we can see them." Christine looked at the plates in her hands. At us. At the door behind her. She made her decision in a split second. She threw the plates at us and ran. Marcus and I ducked. The pot roast hit the floor, the garage wall, splattering everywhere. I noticed the meat was steaming, and where it hit my shoe, it burned. Not just hot, caustic. She'd put something in it that would dissolve tissue, make it look like my cancer had caused internal bleeding. We heard her car start, tires squealing, but she didn't get far. The RCMP had blocked the street. We heard the crash, then shouting, then silence. Marcus and I walked out of the garage. Christine was being pulled from her car, handcuffed, screaming obscenities. David Wickham was being arrested at the same time 3 streets over. The Toronto police surveillance team was being detained for questioning. It was over. Marcus turned to me, and for the first time in 6 months, I saw my son. Really saw him. He hugged me, and we both started crying. That was 8 months ago. Christine, or Allison Draper, is awaiting trial for 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, fraud, and about a dozen other charges. David Wickham turned witness in exchange for a lighter sentence. He confirmed everything. Tommy's murder, the plan to kill me, the drugging of Marcus. They exhumed Tommy's body. The second autopsy confirmed poisoning. Digitalis in doses that would cause cardiac arrest but metabolize quickly. She'd done it before with Robert Chen. She knew exactly how. Marcus is recovering. He's in therapy, dealing with the trauma of being married to a serial killer. We have Sunday dinners again, just the 2 of us. Sometimes Martin Breslin joins us. Marcus is rebuilding his life. He's dating again, slowly. He says he'll never trust easily again, but he's learning. The business is doing well. We renamed it Pearson, and Pearson, in Tommy's memory. And me? I'm here. 64 years old, still alive, despite Christine's best efforts. Sometimes I think about what would have happened if Tommy hadn't been suspicious, if he hadn't left me that envelope. If Marcus hadn't been smart enough to fake being drugged, Christine would have succeeded. She would have killed us all and taken everything. But she didn't. Because my brother was careful. Because my son was brave. Because we trusted each other more than we trusted her lies. I visit Tommy's memorial at Georgian Bay every few weeks. I sit on the dock, where we used to fish, and I talk to him, tell him everything, thank him for saving my life. And I make a promise. Every time. I will never be silent when something feels wrong. I will never ignore my instincts. I will never let anyone isolate the people I love. Tommy taught me that. Even in death, he's still teaching me. My brother, my best friend, the man who saved us all by paying attention when everyone else looked away. I won't waste the life he saved. None of us will.